The call came Tuesday morning. Ngozi was making breakfast. Did you hear? Emeka is showing buyers the land. Papa's land. Behind the old well. She put the spoon down. What buyers? City people. Surveyors. They were there yesterday. For months. For months since they buried Chief Obiora Eze. For months since she promised, at his graveside, to honor everything he built. Now her brother was selling it. Without a word. She called him that afternoon. I'm a first son, Emeka said. The land is mine. You'll marry. You'll move to your husband's compound. What do you need farmland for? I have use for what's rightfully mine. Rightfully yours? You're a woman. You have no claim. Be grateful I haven't asked you to leave the family house. She'd watched her father build that land from nothing. Walked those furrows as a girl. Sat with him in his final months while he talked about its future like it was sacred. I am his daughter, she said. You're a daughter, Emeka said. Not a son. He hung up. Her children played in the yard outside. They didn't know their inheritance was being sold out from under them by a man who was sure she'd stay silent. He didn't know their father had already made sure she wouldn't. 3 weeks later, a family meeting. The compound was full. Uncles under the mango tree. Aunties on the veranda, watching her walk in. Emeka sat in their father's chair. We're here to finalize the land matter. Finalize? No one discussed terms with me. Uncle Chikwudi cleared his throat. Ngozi, this is men's business. Tradition. Your brother's only doing what's expected. Expected by whom? Everyone, he said, like the question was the strange part. I've already signed with the buyer, Emeka said. It closes within the month. The aunties nodded. Someone laughed. You think Papa wanted this? Her voice rose. You think tradition erases what he promised me? Promise you what? Emeka's mouth curled. Did he write it down? Sign it? All you have are feelings. Memories. That means nothing to a judge. Silence. Not sympathy, agreement. With him. You have no proof, he said, enjoying it now. No signature. No document. Just a woman's wish. And wishes don't transfer deeds, sister. Laughter. Soft. Unmistakable. She stood. She didn't argue. She didn't cry. Not in front of them. She walked out past the mango tree, past the aunties who wouldn't look at her, past every person who'd already decided her father's promise to her was worth nothing. She didn't know yet. His confidence wasn't the same thing as truth. Here's what none of them knew. Chief Obiora wasn't a man for big gestures. He watched. He waited. But in his final 2 years, he started talking to his daughter differently. You worry about your brother, he told her one evening on the veranda. I see how he is. I see it too. He paused. He thinks the land is his by old thinking. I taught him that thinking. But you came back every season. You learned the soil. Emeka hasn't touched that land in 15 years. He says I have no claim. Because I'm a woman. He laughed, tired, not unkind. I raised him with that belief. I was wrong. Inheritance should follow contribution. Not gender. Not tradition for tradition's sake. What she didn't know, he'd already acted on it. For visits to his lawyer. For visits he kept secret, even from her. Not just a will. A trust. Fully documented. Fully witnessed. Naming her the sole controller of the land. He'll contest this, Chief Obiora told the lawyer. He'll try to sell before anyone stops him. Make it airtight. We register it with the Land Commission directly, the lawyer said. No sale clears without hitting that registration first. And if he finds a buyer careless enough to skip the check, then the sale is void. It doesn't matter how many signatures he collects. The land was never his to sell. The chief sat back, relieved for the first time in months. Good. Seal it. Give it to my daughter after I'm gone. He never told her. Not from distrust. He knew his son would only show his true face if he believed no one was watching. He built her a shield before she knew she'd need one. 2 weeks after the meeting, an unknown number called. Mrs. Okafor, Ton Bankhole, real estate consultant. Regarding the Eze land, you may have a claim? Her stomach dropped. Who told you to call me? Standard due diligence. Your name's on old records. I wanted to confirm there's no dispute before we close. There is a dispute. My brother doesn't have soul. I understand there are family complications, he said. But your brother's documentation looks solid. We close in 9 days. 9 days? She called Emeka immediately. You're actually selling Papa's land in 9 days. I told you I would. Bored. Casual. This money sets up my children's future. Instead of you clinging to sentimental nonsense. This is half of what Papa built. This is mine, he said, colder now. Stop calling people. Stop embarrassing yourself. You have no documentation. No standing. I am his daughter. You're an obstacle, he said. And obstacles get removed. The line went dead. She stood in her kitchen, phone trembling in her hand. Removed. The word sat ugly in her chest. She had no documentation. Not that she knew of. Just memory. Just certainty that didn't transfer deeds. 9 days. Counting down to a loss she didn't know how to stop. What she didn't know, in a locked cabinet across the city, a sealed document with her father's signature was waiting. Waiting for exactly this. Emeka's confidence turned reckless. At the Palm Wine Bar, he bought rounds. By next week, I'm a different man. No more pretending to care about my sister's nonsense. She'll just accept this? A friend asked. She has no choice, Emeka said. No money. No documents. No standing. What's she going to do about it? He laughed. His friends laughed. None of them considered that his father might have seen this coming. 2 days later, his mistake. Eager to close fast, he pushed his lawyer to expedite the registration, skip the standard review. A common shortcut. It was also the exact shortcut Barrister Ngozi had flagged as a trigger. The moment the request hit the system, an alert fired straight to the lawyer's office. He smiled. He'd wondered if Emeka would be careless enough to trip the wire. Greed rarely waits. He called Ngozi. Mrs. Okafor. It's time we met. There's something your father left you. Bring your brother. There's something everyone needs to hear. For the first time in weeks, she felt something other than dread. The lawyer's office was packed. Emeka came reluctant, flanked by 2 uncles. Ngozi sat across from him, hands folded, husband beside her. 4 months ago, Barrister Ngozi said, your father established a legal trust on this land. A trust? He never told me. Deliberately. This trust names Mrs. Okafor's sole authorized decision-maker on any sale. Silence. Impossible, Emeka said, voice rising. I'm a first son. You have traditional inheritance claims. His trust supersedes them. Registered. Witnessed. Filed 11 months ago. Your attempt to expedite the sale is exactly what triggered our review. This is a lie. She forged this. Careful with that accusation. The lawyer's tone sharpened. I witnessed the signature myself. Here are the receipts. Verify them at any government office. He slid the document across. Emeka stared at it. Didn't touch it. There's more. A second envelope. Your father left a letter. For this exact moment. He broke the seal. To my son Emeka. If you're hearing this, you've done exactly what I feared. I raised you to believe things about inheritance I later came to question. I'm sorry I didn't correct that sooner. But know this, your sister gave more to this land, and to me, than any tradition could measure. She earned what she controls, not through favor, through 20 years of showing up. Silence. A dead man's words, landing exactly when he meant them to. Word spread before the meeting even ended. The uncles who'd nodded along with Emeka stopped answering his calls. The aunties who'd called it men's business now whispered about how he'd mocked his own sister's grief, while their father had already seen through him. Chikwudi got cornered at a gathering. Did you know about the trust when you told her to be quiet? I did not know. Then you should have known less, the elders said, and listened more. The buyer pulled out within the day. Word spread through every real estate consultant in the region. Emeka's name now meant risk. Worse than the money, the silence. People who'd laughed beside him now couldn't meet his eyes at the market. His own wife went cold, not over the failed sale, over what it revealed about him. He tried to call himself a victim, a son kept in the dark. But everyone remembered his own words. Wishes don't transfer deeds, sister. He hadn't just assumed ownership. He'd mocked her for fighting for it. There's a specific shame reserved for men who laugh at the powerless and find out too late they were protected all along. 3 weeks later, Ngozi stood at the edge of her father's land at sunset. Same spot she used to stand with him. The trust was active. The land was hers, not as a gift. As recognition. She wasn't selling. She was expanding, hiring from the village, replanting what had gone fallow. Emeka hadn't spoken to her since. She'd heard he'd gone quiet, humbled. She didn't know if it was real or just the silence of a collapsed plan. She didn't know if she'd ever trust him again. But she didn't need his apology to feel whole. What she had was enough. Her father had seen her, not as just a woman, as the daughter who showed up season after season when it cost her something real. Your sister gave more to this land than any tradition could measure. The sun dropped low, gold across the fields. She wasn't angry anymore. Justice hadn't come through revenge. Emeka's shame wasn't something she'd engineered. It was just the natural cost of what he'd chosen. Justice came through truth. Patient, quiet, prepared years in advance by a father who protected his daughter even after he was gone. She walked back toward the house. Hers now, undeniably, carrying not the weight of having fought for it, but the quiet of finally being seen.